Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 12 of Field. We are almost to the finish line. I can't believe we are almost done. So I am really excited about all of the progress that you guys have made thus far, and all the experiences you've been enduring in Field and managing some really tough situations and traumatic events that clients have experienced. So I'm really excited for you guys to continue growing in the field. So I wanted to go over this week's assignments for week 12. So you have one written assignment is due, this week, which is really focusing on what you learn from clients. I think that what is so interesting in the field is that we always take away something from a client, whether we learned something about ourselves or we've done a lot more research about particular issues that they're facing or found out resources that are in the community that we didn't know. There's so much that I think we learn just from being with people in the moment. So what you're going to do this week is you're going to actually write 2 to 3 pages with headings, of course, about your learning experience. So you're going to use one of the prompts below where you write about your personal experience with the client and the lesson learned that has had an impact on your professional self. So you're going to choose one of them below. So for example, if you happen to choose almost no one wants you to solve their problems, I think that you can pull a lot from that because, sometimes it may be perceived. You will have some clients that may want you to actually solve their problems, especially if it is something that is really a dire need, such as shelter. I know some of you guys work at shelters and substance abuse treatment and getting their basic needs met, such as food and those types of things. And so I think sometimes there are times where you may have to help them solve their problems because you might be knowledgeable of resources where they may not necessarily have access to or known about. But I think that the other part of this, for example, is, the treatment plans that many of us write when we're doing clinical work. So when we write the treatment plans, it's always a collaborative approach, and it's really the client writing their goals. So, a lot of the times if you guys have written treatment plans, you'll kind of put in quotations what the client said and what the client wants to work on, and then you support them in actually completing their goals and solving some of their issues and, overcoming their barriers. So I can certainly see 2 sides of it, but I think that, people feel encouraged when they have support. But I think that, we also don't want to fall into a place of enabling people so that they become so dependent on us. The ultimate goal is for them to always be able to have enough coping skills so that they can be dependent and resourceful when times of crisis or situations do arise. So, I'm interested to see which prompts you guys use. I think they're all kind of interesting. So I just wanted to give you an example of, that like you can really, really run with a lot of these topics. So you can kind of see 2 different viewpoints of maybe a prompt and just going into deeper detail. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to apply a showman skill. So identify which showman skill is best applied in the interaction and why. So for example, if you're utilizing empathy and showing that you're understanding a client's feelings, like that's a showman skill. And I think that seems something that you guys may be naturally doing, but it really is a skill to make people feel like their voice is being heard and that their feelings are valid. I think, all of us can kind of attest to that when we just, need to process, which is why supervision is so important. So you're going to talk about that. You don't have to use necessarily that skill, but there's so many you can kind of choose from. And then what you're also going to do is utilize the NSAW Code of Ethics reflection, where you're going to talk about a value or principle that is highlighted by your example. So for example, if you go to the Code of Ethics, one thing that always renders in my mind is the importance of human relationships and the dignity and worth of the person. So, I talked a little bit previously about almost no one wants you to solve their problems. So, really focusing on the importance of human relationships and that, your relationship is one where it's really, you supporting a client, not necessarily 50-50. Sometimes it might be 80-20. Sometimes it's they're doing more work than you are, and just kind of understanding that the relationship is always therapeutic, it's professional, and it's always kind of goal oriented. So, you guys can certainly make it your own. You don't have to choose that necessary principle, but just an example. So you're going to have 2 to 3 pages in length. You want to make sure it's a Word document. And I would also encourage you to do a cover page, because it just always kind of looks great. And I think it's a good habit to kind of get into, although you don't necessarily have to. But I do need you to create a reference page where you're going to reference all of the resources that you've used in regards to Schulman and the Code of Ethics. Okay, so that is due this Sunday by 11:59. So that's your only assignment that is essentially due this week, but you do have some other reminders that I've kind of put up here pertaining to this week. And one of them is make sure that you have completed your second process recording. If you haven't done so already, I'll be sure to get to the ones that have been submitted already this week, just to be ahead of the game. And so that is due. So you want to make sure that you give enough time for your field instructor to review everything and sign off and give feedback. So just plan ahead. And then the other thing is, if you haven't done so already, please update your timesheets to Sonia with your field instructor's signature. The other thing is you want to make sure that you have 5 peer-to-peer discussion posts by the end of week 14, a total of 5. And then you also want to make sure that if you are planning to attend the live field discussion tomorrow at 7 p.m. that you RSVP by noon tomorrow. I would love to try to get at least a couple people to sign up. I know we're all really busy, just to kind of check in at least one time this semester with you all and kind of connect the faces to the great work that you guys are doing. So outside of that, I don't have anything else for you this week, but have a great week. Keep trucking along. And I will also be reaching out to your field instructors, because their final evaluation of your field process will be due, I believe, December 10th. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. So in case they do receive an email, you will kind of be going through that process and sitting down with them and processing some things. So just wanted to give you a heads up. So have a great week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Bye.